This is a production of SDPB.
It might be a small community, but there's so much involvement, lots and lots of volunteers. It's amazing how small of a town, but how many volunteers we have here. Everybody just works really hard.
The community is pretty supportive, so if you would need help, they were there to help you.
Join our crew as we meet the people who call Clear Lake home.
I like small towns, and Clear Lake has been very good to me. That's my hometown now.
Greetings from Clear Lake.
Greetings from Clear Lake.
Greetings from Humble Pig Smokery in Clear Lake.
Greetings from 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 Country Twisters Gymnastics.
Greetings from the Crystal Springs Rodeo.
Greetings to the rest of South Dakota from the Crystal Springs Rodeo. Thank you.
Greetings from Clear Lake.
Greetings from Clear Lake.
Dakota Life, Greetings from Clear Lake is supported with your membership in the Friends of SDPB. Thank you. With help from DNB National Bank, an independent community bank celebrating a century of growth, progress, and service to the Clear Lake and Gary communities. Online and mobile banking allows anytime, anywhere financial management. dnbanks.com.
Donors to the Explore South Dakota Fund support the production of local documentaries and other programs of local interest presented by SDPB. Friends of SDPB appreciates their support of this program.
Hello, South Dakota. I'm Tim Davison, and welcome to Dakota Life. And greetings from Clear Lake. As the school year draws to a close, the third grade class in Clear Lake goes on an annual adventure to the museum. Okay, first things first. What are you two doing today?
We're at the museum learning about history, about in the olden days and now. We're here to tour the museum and learn about the history of other stuff of Clear Lake.
Clutching their clipboards, these kids decked out in braces and bonnets are captivated by museum curators like Sandra Bent.
Every year, the kids have end-of-school field trips. And so we've been taking these third graders through for years. And we kind of divide up and try to tell about different parts of the museum. The group we had today, I think we had 45 kids. And we had some teachers, some helpers, and our board members. We have them rotate. We keep them for like 20 minutes in each section, and then we rotate them through. So by the time we've gone through 5 rotations, they pretty much know what's in here.
How about in Toy Story?
They like some of the stories that we tell them. I always tell them the story about the milk wagon, and they like that. And our military guide tells them stories there.
What's your favorite part about the museum so far?
Maybe like the military area. Grenades that are defused, shells for artillery, and then a German World War I helmet.
Some of them are more into history than others.
I'm into military. I like history about military, and I want to be in the military.
And the fellow that was in there today, one of the kids asked him if he served with George Washington. Okay, now let's go stand in front of the store and I'll tell you about the story.
in the olden days they didn't use electricity a lot.
Livy, how do you think that you would do not having electricity?
I don't know.
They listen quite intently because I think they're interested in it. They just can't quite fathom how things were way back then.
It's tough for anyone to imagine life in someone else's shoes, especially in another time, even if it's in the same place. But lessons in history help us bridge the gaps in time and space, and between each other.
They like the typewriters. They really like the typewriters, and I try to tell them that it's the same thing they use when they do keyboarding, but they just can't quite get it, and they have to fling the thing back, and so they like that, and they like the old telephones.
My favorite thing were the pictures.
Photos, typewriters, and telephones. All tools that help teleport our stories to far away and future audiences. Or to the person right next door. But to these kids, the story of how Clear Lake got its name remains a little murky.
This person came on a train by the lake and I don't know his name. He saw the lake and it was really clear, so he called it Clear Lake.
Of course, the story of this place started long before the railroad land agent and engineer astutely named it. And Clear Lake will continue long after these kids have their chance to make changes to its story. Museum photos show us how time has changed Main Street and its businesses, each containing countless stories. Sandra tells us about one of them.
My dad, he had a barbershop underneath the old original bank building. When I would come home from school, I would go down to the barbershop, and my dad had 2 chairs, and he was cutting one of the girls' hair that was sitting in this first chair, and I was sitting in the other chair, and the chairs have a brake on it. So if you release the brake, you can twirl them around. So I'd go down and sit in the chair and twirl around. Until I got dizzy. He barbered until he died. Yeah, he loved it because he had his old customers, and they'd sit around and visit and chew the fat.
Businesses like this don't just provide livelihoods, they impact lives. Businesses like filling stations and general stores eventually turned into coffee shops and tech manufacturing. Not to mention, farms that harness the power of the sun and wind and turn it into energy. In this episode, we're going to take a look at several business ventures in Clear Lake, both from the past and the present. And our first stop is just down Main Street.
They built this building for the high school program. They just had like a super tiny room in the high school gym. They wanted to grow the program. They wanted their girls to be able to compete and be safe, competing. So there was a group of parents that came together and fundraised and donated a lot of time to put up this gym. They probably didn't know years from now there would be hundreds of little girls coming in and out of these doors that they put up. I was a state champion in high school gymnastics. I pole vaulted at NDSU, graduated, got married, started coaching again. Clear Lake parents asked me to come here and open a gym. So I was like, yeah, that would be good, like part-time, super small, do it again. And then Jennifer came in shortly after we opened, and the program just grew.
10 years ago, and Caitlin started with, I think, 7 girls in the beginning. She started in May, and I came in June. And by the beginning of that first competitive season, we had a great group of girls, and it's just grown from there.
We had very limited equipment. I was like, we need a pit bar if we're gonna have, club gymnasts, just to a safety aspect and to learn bigger skills. And right away we fundraised and parents pitched in, and we got the pit behind us, which was a huge training aid. Since then, it's we keep adding little by little, I get all the time, like, Caitlin, where are we gonna put that? You know, they're super blessed to be in this spot with the amount of equipment and, you know, the training facility that they have in a small town.
Yeah, it's a game changer to have a good facility, you know, to be able to get girls to come from surrounding communities to want to be part of what's going on here. Even though we're a small club, we really focus on technique and dedication and being positive role models for the girls and just trying to help them do the best they can. And I think that they take that out of this gym into the community. I've been coaching over 40 years, so when I was 13, the local YMCA hired me as a coach to help pay my own tuition. I've worked in a lot of gyms, and the atmosphere here is pretty unique.
Yes, Katie.
The way the girls interact with each other. There's not jealousy here. There's not bickering. The girls really help each other. The older girls will cheer on the younger girls, and the younger girls, of course, look up to the older girls.
Like, you can just see it through the littles' eyes, you know, when they look up at an older girl and they say, good job, you know, and it's like they just get like lifted up, you know. It's like way more cool to have their older teammates say good job and uplift them than sometimes their coaches or their parents, you know. So we do really try to encourage them to like be good teammates and to have good sportsmanship.
It's a really small community, so like we're a smaller gym compared to other South Dakota teams, but it's nice because you're so close with like your teammates and your coaches like actually know you. It's one close, big family. I don't know what I would do without gymnastics.
Just such a great business to have here in the community. It brings so many kids in, you know, kids enjoy being here.
You know, they're someplace safe, having fun, learning something, and then hopefully they take that with them.
Now let's look at another Clear Lake venture that's in the business of twists and turns.
You take a highway, and then you take a county highway, and then a gravel road, and then it turns into a trail, and then that trail turns into a duck pond that's now America's most natural rodeo bowl.
Right. Well, that's what EW says, where the pavement ends and the west begins. It's the most natural rodeo bowl. There's nobody else got the hills all the way around it like this is.
Back in 1945, when E.W. Weisel put on the first rodeo, he was a promoter. He wanted the best of the best here, and that's what we strive to keep going here, is having the best of the best, and that's why we work so hard to go ahead and keep that tradition alive.
E.W. is one of those guys that got a lot of things done. He worked hard, but he had a lot of people work hard. He always was dressed with his hat and his white shirt, and he was just one of those typical boss guys that can figure out how to get something done and go do it.
This rodeo, it means a lot to everybody that's on the board, and there's nothing else like it in the world. When you see the crowds on a Friday, Saturday night, it's unbelievable. That makes it all worth it.
This was my 39th year on the association, so I'm sort of the old guy, and stuff. They sort of take care of me. And took care of the ranch for 30 years out here, and took care of the cattle out here for a guy, and then I had mine on the next section north. And I just lived 3 miles straight south of here, and I grew up there, and E.W.'s grandson was in my class in school, and he comes up every year for the rodeo. It used to be the Sunday crowd was solid. I mean, the people mostly just stood up because that's all the room they had in order to see them. He claimed they had 10,000 people in here at one time, and some of them doubted that, but he took that picture and told them you start counting. It's a pretty packed house.
The PRCA contestants, they want to be at this rodeo.
Cowboys from all over the United States.
Canada.
Even Hawaii and Australia.
It's one of the biggest rodeos in the nation, and we have the best stock come all over the place. We have stock come from Canada, Texas, Oklahoma, Minnesota, and North Dakota. And with that, those cowboys can get on the best stock in the world.
The roughest bull they can get on, that's the one they want.
To compete for a hefty prize money of $250,000.
But Mother Nature brought a little extra entertainment this year that made the 2025 rodeo unforgettable.
Yeah, extra entertainment was it was unbelievable. It was just amazing that nobody got hurt. We got told that we were going to have about 10 minutes of rain in 10 minutes. Well, that led to rain, hail, and tornadoes that were all around us.
It just dumped on us until it just flooded everything, tornadoes coming by, and so we had to postpone the rodeo until the next day.
The community, the law enforcement, fire department, everybody did their job and made sure everybody was safe, and it was just a blessing that the tornado didn't drop right here on top of us. Saturday night, we were expecting 7,000-8,000 people here. Everybody was scattering, but everybody kept their calm, and turned out that we got really lucky that it landed 2 miles from us instead of right on top of us.
Luckily, the worst injury in Dual County that day was a broken leg, but it did leave a trail of broken hearts in its wake. Farms like these are built over generations. Now, we follow the floodwaters south of Clear Lake to talk history at a farm in the Hidewood.
The Hidewood Creek comes out of Clear Lake, and then as it goes southwest, then it develops into a valley. Hidewood is a derivative of Hidden Woods. And I had the state forester out one time, and he went through and he said, yeah, it's a natural draw of bur oak trees. If you heard of like Seachy Hollow up there, this is the same thing what I have on my property. Back in the early 1860s, they had the Minnesota Uprising where the Indians revolted, and they looted and burned their way up this way. And the story is Chief Little Crow and 40 Braves come out and hid in this draw of mine up here until things all quieted down. And then him and his two sons, they walked up to Canada. And he was up there for, I don't know, a year or two. So he was walking back down, and a settler recognized him and shot him because there was a $500 bounty on him. Well, and then the state of Minnesota has always had his remains. And then we had a guy in Clear Lake by the name of Alan Woolworth. He became the head of the Minnesota Historical Society. And he got the state to release Little Crow's remains. And so then he took them down to Flandreau, and that's where he's buried at now.
Keith Diekman has a clear passion for history.
I like history, and it says a lot about it. So.
And he shares it in several ways, including through his work at the Clear Lake Historical Society, but also through sharing his extensive collection of historical farm equipment.
It's all stuff I grew up with.
And rural life in the Hidewood Valley, which his sister Diane has documented in her book, A Farm in the Hidewood.
This has been my home for 76 years now. Dad moved here in fall of 46, and then Mom was living next door to the west. They got together and got married in early 48, I think it was. And my family ended up being a military family because Dad was in the Army, Mom was in the Navy. I enlisted in the Navy, but they didn't want me.
And while Keith stayed home to run the family farm, his siblings Kenny, Keo, Diane, and Ronald served a combined total of 85 years in the military.
When Dad started out, there was no power at all, so we milked about 10 cows by hand, and then when we got electricity, then we got a milking machine, and we added another 10 cows, and we always had stock cows around, so it was stock cows and milk cows and crop farming. And like Mom, she always went out in the field, did, cultivating and plowing, and then when us kids got old enough, then we started hauling hay by ourselves. And life was always just a family affair. Well, I used to enjoy farming, but as time went on, the fun all left. And then it was time to go on and do something else, you know.
These days, Keith spends less time farming and more time caring for county roads.
Every 2 weeks, I blade 2 townships.
But also sharing his passion for pasque flowers.
I've always been a fan of them. They like to grow on the southwest side of a hill. That's where they first come up, where its ground has never been tilled or anything like that, you know. And this year we give probably about 500 away. So many people my age grew up with them, you know. It's just something they just admire.
Producer Greg Beasley takes us from the farm to a table back in town.
Doing good barbecue is no easy feat. It requires a lot of love and passion for the product, as well as the process. For Sam and Wade Solom, their love of barbecue came from a popular Sioux Falls event.
I think we went to Rib Fest in Sioux Falls and just kind of got interested in the whole process, the barbecue, the smell, you know, and I went and got just a cheap smoker, and that's how we got started.
A lot of research.
Like a hobby.
Found he had a really good talent for it.
The Soloms would move up to Wade's hometown of Clear Lake in 2016 and decided his talent needed to be shown off. Thus, the Humble Pig Smokery was born. While the low and slow barbecue process can lead to some long hours, as well as a labor of love, that includes Wade waking up during those cold winter mornings as early as 3 a.m. to start the smoking process. It's the passion for providing the hardworking people of the area a hot lunch that keeps the embers burning at the Humble Pig.
So, you know, we have a community of blue-collar workers, you know, they got half an hour to get from where they're coming from to here to out the door to back to work within, you know, a 30-minute block of time. So, you know, it's either burgers, fries, you know, gas station kind of stuff. And we're like, you know what? This town does need something a little more high-end, I guess, but yet affordable and casual dining as well. Like, we have farmers that come in and we have business people that come in, and everyone fits really comfortably.
So comfortably that the Humble Pig sells out most days.
So the small batch barbecue is big for us. We make what we think we can sell in a day. Like, we were the trailblazers in the area for that. We were the first one that had like sold out signs.
Clear Lake is known for its hardworking people, and at the Humble Pig, there's no exception to that rule, as every member of the Solom family has their role in helping to keep the community full and happy.
He's the meat man and I'm the side chick.
Right. I prep all the meat, smoke all the meat, and I do some sides and she does some sides.
I do. Our son just recently developed our logo or our design on our hoodies and t-shirts now. Wade came up with the slogan, "Best Barbecue from Alaska to Nebraska." And then our son, he's 11 right now. Shout out to Ben. He took that and ran with it, and he created the designs on our most current t-shirts now.
Barbecue has a certain aroma, and when that scent hits your nose, your mouth instantly begins to water. It's an amazing feeling that the Humble Pig wants to make sure you can have every day in your own home by doing something as simple as washing your hands.
My good friend in Lincoln, Nebraska has a natural skincare product line, and reached out to her to see if there is something we could do that would be like specific to Humble Pig. Like, it actually has gone over fairly well. I didn't know how it was gonna go because barbecue restaurant and skincare, but it's another unique twist.
Skincare isn't the only unique twist at the Humble Pig. The style of barbecue blends together, forming a new style that can appease all barbecue consumers.
Like, what you got to offer? Your barbecue in Clear Lake. Yeah. You're not Kansas City, you're not Texas. But I feel like pretty confident that we can hang up there with those guys. So it may not be exactly like Texas barbecue or Kansas City or whatever, but we call it South Dakota barbecue.
Fresh South Dakota style barbecue to go along with freshly made sides, plus making, manufacturing, and selling your own homemade barbecue sauces. Well, that can be a lot of work. But for Sam and Wade, it's just a regular day at the Humble Pig.
I love to see people full and happy with a smile on their face. There's like really no better reward. And it's not even a monetary thing at that point. It's just you fulfilled somebody's need. But yeah, family, getting together, bringing the community together, a communal place for everybody to come and grab some really good food and hang out for a while.
The Humble Pig may be a new startup, but other family businesses in Clear Lake have been around a while. Producer Jackson Thorson takes us to one that just celebrated a big milestone.
Yeah, I just always liked the outdoors, and when I was a kid, I always had a little garden.
For 70 years, Liz Bagalka has been caring for plants at SoDak Gardens.
Did you ever see anything like this?
Back in the 1950s, she was a kindergarten teacher in Maryland while Leon worked in the Navy.
And he was in the back seat of a car. He didn't own a car. And when they pulled up, this is what he told me. That's the one I want. There I was. It's the one he wanted, and he worked on it. He didn't have to work too hard because he was a good one.
Leon and Liz then laid the seeds for what would become a great service to the community of Clear Lake.
Oh, I love plants and I love people. I just love to visit with the people that come, and I love having, the greenhouse look good, so I'm always rearranging or fixing or something. And I hope it's important to the community, and I think to most people it is. Because you talk gardening or you need a plant or whatever, and SoDak Gardens usually comes up because we've been here so long.
Unfortunately, Leon passed away in 2004 at the age of 73.
I had the best husband ever. And people won't ever believe this, but we never went to bed angry. We actually never fought. We just agreed, and if we had a problem, we just settled up before we went to sleep. I had a wonderful husband, the greatest.
Today, the Bagalka family continues to keep Leon and Liz's vision open for business. Their son Tim now runs SoDak Gardens. He's always had a knack for plants.
And I'm her daughter Kathy, standing in for my brother, who is the owner and operator here, Tim Bagalka, who's on vacation this week. So the greenhouses are here. There are 4 big greenhouses, and a lot of things are done here in the spring mostly, and then at Christmas time again we have evergreens and Christmas trees. And then in here is the shop where we sell a lot of pesticides and fertilizers, plant care items. It's the end of the planting season. We have a lot of bulk seeds. So we sell a lot of seeds in bulk, and we only sell the seeds that are good for this area. So the nursery stock is out here, and then we have something very unusual at SoDak Gardens, and that is we have a root cellar that my father decided to dig in 1954. It's down there. All the trees you see were planted by him and his brother Elroy back in the 50s.
Oh my, that's pretty. Look at those flowers.
And there's Dad out of the truck.
Oh, that's when I was young.
And at 94 years old, Liz has learned a few gardening tips.
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to make a commitment, because it's work, but it's fun work. And plant early if you can, and just take care of it. Keep the weeds out and enjoy the fresh vegetables.
Do you have a favorite plant?
No, I love them all.
Thank you for watching Dakota Life. If you've missed any of our stories here today, or just want to go back and take another look, you can visit us at sdpb.org/Dakota Life. For all of us here at SDPB, here in Dual County at Clear Lake, thank you for watching.